Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CnD Podcast. This is episode
67.
perfect. I refuse to say that number because it's a stupid meme. Anyway, we are going to be covering. I don't like it, mate. I don't like it.
Well, could we?
Stupid meme.
Is it not different because it's like 67 or not? Does that not change its connotation?
No,
Oh,
it's fucking stupid. It's a stupid number. Never going to say it again.
okay.
Unless I forget about the meme and then a year later I'll probably start actually using the numbers again together. But anyway, welcome back to the CnD Podcast. With these mystery podcasts, I wanted to finish on something that is one of my favorites. I actually would go as far to say it is my favorite. Growing up as a kid, I read the movies. Yeah, I read the movies and watched the books. No,
Nice.
I watched the movies and read the book. I have a book on my desk right now.
Oh, wow.
Of the Alcatraz escape, and that is today's murder. Not murder. It's not murder mystery. It's today's mystery. So every time we go and do one of these mysteries, Danny, I like to ask you a question. That question is, what do you know about the escape from Alcatraz Island?
I actually don't know a lot. I know that it was a prison.
Uh-huh.
And that's about it, really. I know you can. It's like a tourist destination now, isn't it? You can just go and visit it.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really want to do.
Yeah. Where is it?
Well, you're going to find out.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right. Run the theme song.
So sit back, relax, and let me tell you about what happened on that night.
Ooh.
For decades, Alcatraz wasn't just a prison, it was the pinnacle of prisons. The place where the system sent you if you were too dangerous, too clever, or just too uncontrollable for anywhere else. Um, Guards openly told inmates that no one had ever escaped Alcatraz for years and years and years and years and years. The main reason for this is it is an island. It sits in the San Francisco Bay, and it is surrounded by harsh currents, sharks. The San Francisco Bay is
Wow.
a very tidal place where you can get swept off to sea if you fall off a boat and you're dead. Hypothermia within minutes. Then came Frank Morris, John and Clarence Anglin, the Anglin brothers. Frank Morris arrived in Alcatraz in January 1960. He was quiet, intelligent, and already escaped from other prisons, which is
Nice.
exactly why they sent him to the Rock, as it was later referred to. Psychological tests later showed he had an IQ well above average. He didn't mouth off, he didn't fight, he just watched and listened. The Anglin brothers were different. John and Clarence grew up in a poor home in Florida, part of a larger family that survived by seasonal work. They were expert swimmers. Their childhood involved diving into icy rivers and working docks. By the time they reached Alcatraz in 1961, they were already experienced criminals, but also known as cooperative, polite inmates. Their cells, Morris in B152, Clarence in B150, and John Anglin in B148, backed onto a little known utility corridor behind the cell block. And here's where they formed the plan.
Ooh.
The prison was old, built in the early 1900s. Salt air had eaten away at the concrete for decades. Behind the sinks, sorry, I don't know why that came as a K for me, but behind the sinks in each cell was a small ventilation opening, originally meant for air circulation, and the concrete around it was crumbling. Morris noticed that when he played his accordion, the sound echoed strangely behind the wall. He started testing the concrete with a stolen spoon from a dining hall, and slowly, night after night, it started to give way.
Wow.
They hid the damage cleverly. Toilet paper mixed with toothbrush created a fake wall texture. Every morning, inspectors passed well at a second glance. So what they had done is they'd stolen art supplies and things like that, and they'd created a paper kind of like a paper mache kind of
Yeah.
cover for the holes that they were creating behind the
Wow.
sinks. They painted it the exact same color of the walls, and they just. Have you ever watched Breaking Bad? Not Breaking Bad. Prison Break.
Yeah.
So you know when he puts like behind his sink, there's like that hole. It's a similar like entrance to that.
Okay.
Just to give you some reference in your mind, kind of what it was like.
Mm.
The noise should have given them away, but Alcatraz had something the prisoners exploited perfectly: music hour. Morris played his accordion loudly during evenings, masking the sounds and of scraping and digging and other sounds related to the escape. Other inmates later said they thought nothing of it. Music was encouraged to keep tensions down. Over the months, the holes grew big enough to squeeze through. Mate, when I tell you these holes are tiny, you'll see in the pictures that you put up,
Yeah.
they are tiny. Behind the wall, they discovered a narrow service corridor that ran the length of the old cell block, completely unguarded. Above it was unused utility space, dust and rubble, and long forgotten. That became their workshop. This is where things turn from clever to pretty much unbelievable.
Yeah.
They needed a raft. Again, surrounded by water. Not just any raft, though, something that could survive the freezing, fast moving currents of San Francisco Bay. Hypothermia could kill them in minutes. The currents were strong enough to pull you out to the Pacific. So, how did they do this? They stole more than 50 raincoats
What?
and stitched them together by hand, sealing seams with steam pipes to melt and fuse the rubber, bellows from what were those, what's those things called again? I couldn't remember the words, so I left it blank and just put dot dot dot. What is the thing where you can play music and it's like it like blows in and out?
Or like bagpipes.
No, it's got like a keyboard on it and it goes like in and out. I can't remember what it was. They called it bellows, but it's not, it's something else.
I think I know what you mean. Phoebe's gonna kill me, but yeah.
Yeah, you like pull it apart and push it back in, don't you? That one.
Yeah, it's like doo-doo-doo. Yeah.
Yeah. So they use one of those as like a repurposed air pump.
Should I go and ask her?
Sure, yeah, if you want.
Alright, hang on, back a sec. Oh, I've returned with the information.
Okay, what is
Okay, so I was apparently describing two different instruments. So one that's just a keyboard that you like expand is an accordion,
That's it.
and one that you blow into it is a melodica, I think.
I've no idea what that second one is.
No, I don't know either. There you go.
Melodica.
Yeah. I guess it's an accordion then.
Why would you blow into the keyboard? I don't get it.
Oh, is that what you said? I think I thought that's what you said. Sorry.
No, I'm trying to figure out what a melodica is.
Oh.
Oh well. Right, let's get back to it.
Yeah, sorry.
The raft, when finished, was roughly 6 feet long and surprisingly well built. Experts later said it could have floated and floated very well.
So did they find this raft then? If they're saying that.
That's what I'm going to get onto in a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to read the story and then go through everything.
Yeah.
But there was one final problem: the guards. Every night, guards checked cells visually. They looked for bodies, not movement. So Morris came up with the most famous detail about the escape: dummy heads. Using toilet paper, soap, toothpaste, and stolen art supplies, they sculpted realistic heads. Hair came from the prison barbershop floor, painted
Wow.
flesh tones, eyebrows, shadows, and from a distance, they looked disturbingly real. Guards who later saw them said the heads were good enough to fool anyone not standing right next to the bed.
Yeah.
The night was June 11th, 1962, and slipping into the early hours of June 12th. Everything had to go right. At approximately 11:30, Morris slipped out first, then Clarence, John followed. One man, Alan West, was supposed to go too, but his hole hadn't winded enough. He struggled, panicked, and by the time he'd freed himself, the others were gone. He later told police he heard Morris whisper something like, "We're leaving now," and that was it.
Oh.
3 climbed up the plumbing pipes, pushed through the vent, and emerged onto the roof of Alcatraz, something guards had always claimed was impossible without being seen. They slid down a kitchen vent pipe across the yard, inflated the raft near the northeast shoreline, the blind spot. At around 11:45 p.m., they disappeared into the darkness. By morning, the prison was in chaos. At 7 a.m., a guard tapped Morris's cell, no response. Tapped again, still nothing. When he pushed the head, it rolled onto the floor. Panic. Sirens locked down the whole prison. Full search, boats, helicopters, dogs. The FBI was called in almost immediately. The FBI concluded in 1979 that the men drowned. Their reasoning was simple: no confirmed sightings, dangerous currents, cold water. They found fragments, bits of raincoat material, a paddle, but no bodies. And officially, the case was closed.
Wow.
But Alcatraz never reported, never found a body. Cops involved later admitted that that troubled them deeply. One said in a statement, "San Francisco Bay doesn't keep secrets; it gives things back." Then came the sightings. This is the most famous one. A family in Brazil claimed to have met the Anglin brothers in the early 1970s. Photographs surfaced um, debated to this day, showing the two men strongly resembling them. The Anglin family said they received Christmas cards signed John and Clarence for years. Their mother reportedly got flowers anonymously every Mother's Day until her death. Frank Morris, however, no confirmed photos. But in 2013, the FBI received a letter allegedly written by Morris himself. It claimed he survived, lived in Mexico, and later in the US. The FBI reopened the case briefly, but they couldn't prove it. But they also couldn't disprove it.
Wow.
Former guards were divided. Some believed they drowned, others quietly admitted they thought the men made it. One ranger later said, "If anyone could do it, it was those three." Even today, the official status is escaped, presumed drowned. Not confirmed dead, not alive, just gone.
That's mad.
The thing about Alcatraz is it was not meant to be escaped. The prison underestimated patience, intelligence, and desperation. Here are the theories.
Oh.
Theory 1, they drowned. This is the official FBI kind of statement.
Yeah.
The FBI said the men never made it across the San Francisco Bay. The water that night was around 11 to 12 degrees, cold enough to cause muscle fatigue and failure in under an hour. On top of that, the currents around Alcatraz are brutal and unpredictable. There was actually a recent Mark Rober video where he actually went into this. I don't know if you've seen it, um,
No.
where him and two of his friends recreated as much as they can, and they looked at the weather patterns for back then, and there was a 30-minute window on when the currents would have made it to the shoreline. And guess when that window was, Danny?
Was it the time that they made it?
11:45 to 12:15, and
Yeah.
they left at 11:45. That's how smart that Anglin was,
Yeah.
and Morris was. Actually, Morris was the brains of the operation. To be fair, that's how smart Morris was.
Wow.
Um, the FBI pointed to the debris they later found, saying a paddle fragment, pieces of rubber or raincoat material, a bag believed to belong to one of the Anglins. However, again, no raft of bodies. The argument was simple: there was no sightings, no money trail, no arrests, no solid proof of survival. Um, but again, it doesn't actually prove the drowning. There's a very famous picture, if I remember correctly, of one of the detectives kind of kneeling on a beach, and he's kind of holding up a piece of probably like a makeshift what's the word, life jacket.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, Theory 2,
Yeah.
they made it to Angel Island. This is called the perfect timing theory, which is what I just mentioned about the things.
Okay. Is Angel Island also in the bay?
Yeah, it's what they were aiming to kind of get to.
Ah.
Frank Morris was obsessed with timing. He studied tides, currents, and ferry schedules from the prison library. That night, the tide shifted around 11:30, creating a temporary current that would push them towards Angel Island, not away from it. That's what I mentioned with the 11:15.
Ah.
So yeah, they launched at exactly the right moment. When they did, the water would have carried them across instead of fighting them. Alan
Smart.
West, the inmate left behind, told police that Morris was absolutely confident about this, not hopefully confident. Once on Angel Island, they would have had trees for cover, time before the dawn, and again, no immediate guards waiting for them.
Yeah.
for them, and then from there, it's a very short trip to Marin County. Um, it's popular with modern scientists. In 2014, a Dutch research team had computer simulations using historical tide data, kind of like what Mark Rober did a couple weeks back, and
Yeah.
found that escape was physically possible if timed correctly. Um, so yeah, that's that theory. Like I said, so he was that smart, and he kind of studied it, and yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Theory 3 had this is the family connection theory. One of the strongest survival theories, the Anglin brothers came from a massive, close knit family. The brothers openly said they believed John and Clarence survived. Evidence supporting this was the family received Christmas cards signed John and Clarence for years. Their mother received flowers, like I mentioned. At a funeral, family members said they recognized two men in the crowd who looked exactly like the Anglins, but they disappeared before anyone could speak to them. And the Anglins were known swimmers, strong ones. Cold water didn't scare them, and the way it may have scared other people. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, they believe that some people believe that they had family connections. Theory 4, however, is an interesting one,
Okay.
because this is one of the biggest kind of theories. This is probably topping the time theory. This is the Brazil theory.
Mm.
In the 1970s, a photo surfaced showing two men standing together in Brazil, reportedly John and Clarence Angling. Facial analysis later showed strong similarities. No shape, jawline, ear placement. The Anglin family said the photos were real. Um, Brazil, however, would make sense. There was no extradition pressure, so there was no extradition uh, policy. You didn't have to, face crimes and shit back in your home country if you didn't want to. It was easy
Right.
to get lost in there. There was a strong construction job market at the time, which means that they could have easily got jobs. And it was very remote as well, so foreigners could easily blend in. Um, However, skeptics do say that the photo isn't clear enough to be conclusive. But once you look at the photo, I think you're with like me, you'll be like, oh, hang on, that does seem too good to be true.
Yeah.
Because it's not like today where you look at a photo and go, that's probably AI. Like there was no AI back then.
Yeah.
Like, um, Theory 5 was Frank Morris died, but the Anglin survived. So Frank Morris was older and not as strong swimmer as the Anglins.
Mm.
It's possible that during the escape attempt he drowned during the crossing, um, and the brothers couldn't get him because it explains why there's been no confirmed sightings of Morris.
Yeah.
Why evidence found might relate to one person or three. Again, the bag. Um, there's also mainly a focus on the Anglins going forward. Um, it's it's an interesting theory because I like to think all three of them made it. I think he was smart enough to know the risks.
Yeah.
But the one theory that's left, well, there's actually two theories left. Theory 6 is they survived, but later died. So they escaped successfully, lived under new names, maybe for years, but died naturally later in life. No records because false identities, living abroad, avoiding hospitals and avoiding official systems.
Yeah.
Um, but there is also one last theory. It's the letter in 2013. So in 2013, police received a letter claiming to be from Morris himself. It said he survived, escaped, lived in Mexico, later returned to the US, and was dying of cancer and wanted medical help. The FBI tested it. They couldn't confirm it was from Morris, but they also couldn't rule it out. Um, Not much is really known from what happened after that. The FBI wasn't really forthcoming with that evidence or that the rest of that story.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
I
weird.
did have at the time he did say he was aged 83. Um,
Mm. That's a long time to be alive without you know medical attention or
well,
um.
I think there would have been some sort of medical attention. I think from the underworld, the criminal underground, because
Yeah.
the man was smart. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Fair enough. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I don't know.
and
It is strange that there's been
mm,
no sightings of him. Um. I don't know. It kind of brings me back to like some of the other ones with the letters and stuff. Mostly like Zodiac Killer and things like that. Well, you don't know if it's
Yeah.
from him or not. It's like there's no. Yeah. Well, yeah. 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 Maybe he didn't survive then. Like.
Yeah, so the letter read, "My name is John Angling.
Mm,
I escaped from Alcatraz in June 1962. Yes, we all made it that night, but barely. Um, it's hard to get the full letter, but it says along the lines of, if you announce on TV that I will be promised to just go to jail and for no more than a year and get medical attention, I will write back and let you know exactly where I am. I'm 83 years old and in bad shape. I have cancer." Um, yeah, that's pretty much all the snippets they've kind of given out.
yeah. Wow.
Finally,
Mm,
Alcatraz has returned bodies from other drownings, just not these three. No bones, no confirmed remains, no finality.
yeah.
Um, that's why officially the case is listed as escaped, presumed drowned. Not confirmed dead, but not solved either.
Because it's not a massive body of water either. Like you would have thought someone would have found them by now had they been.
No, from before yeah, no. As a kid growing up, before I actually figured out like you could use Google Maps,
Hmm.
um, hearing about it, you'd think that it was miles and miles away, but no, mate. You can go on the San Francisco Bridge and see
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like you can go from any of the, you can literally any of the around surrounding coastline. You can get a very good view of it. Um,
mm. Yeah, yeah. It's quite yeah. It's not like over the horizon or anything. It's quite
no,
visible.
like you can
Yeah,
clearly make out details from the shoreline, or if it's like a clear day, obviously. But it is very close, like to civilization.
yeah,
The prison actually shut down a few years after that.
mm.
It closed. Obviously probably from the negative effects of that.
Yeah. I mean, if the walls are crumbling, that's yeah,
Yeah,
not great.
get maintenance in, will you?
Yeah, build us a new
um,
prison.
yeah. So the cells to this day are still in the way they left them. All three.
Wow.
The holes are still there. You can go and visit it. You can go and see um, everything. They had to use, so there was a grate on top of the final kind of climb to the top of the roof where it was
Yeah.
barred off. So what they did was they got a nut and bolt, put it into the grate, and used a makeshift wrench to expand the bolt, which then bent um the bar. So that's just how smart they were. Like the limited things that they could do with the limited, I mean, the amount of things they could do with the limited supplies they had was just mind blowing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
I can't
prison
believe
that
they
claimed no
managed
one
to
could.
nick
Uh,
so much stuff. Like no one
yeah,
noticed. You know.
I don't think there was many. That's the thing though, and it was a perfect time period because there was no metal detectors. You know, there was nothing like that. Like
Yeah.
all the modern day stuff that would make it pretty much impossible to escape if it was modernized today, is difficult. What's your theory before we wrap up?
Um. One thing I was thinking about actually, as you were saying it, was like maybe there was like a betrayal or something, and like the two brothers like were like, "Way, thanks for the plan and the boat," and then just like kicked him off. Uh, I don't know why I was thinking that. I just thought it'd be a really good twist.
Yeah, I'd like to say that didn't happen because I think it's a very
But
cool
again, you would
story.
have
But
found the
yeah,
body, or yeah,
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like the San Francisco Bay has a notorious effect. Like if you drown in the San Francisco Bay underwater, you're gonna get found. Like it's literally a circle with one opening. Like it will
it
wash up
is.
somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it'd be a nice twist. Um. I mean, yeah, there's no evidence to say that they didn't successfully. I mean, there's they must have escaped. Like, there's nothing saying they didn't escape. Um, I yeah, I feel kind of bad for the fourth guy. Um, but then I don't know. I guess if the prison like, I mean, I guess he just got transported to another prison.
Yeah.
Um, but Yeah, yeah. I mean, he got like very lucky to like get it with the tides and all of that as well.
I'm going to send you the official FBI page of it. Look at
All right.
the images.
Yeah.
Reference, guys, on images. As we're talking about them, Danny will put them up on the screen.
Yeah. Thanks.
So that's the three people. If you open it now and you
Oh
go
yeah.
down to escapees, so you've got John Angling on the left, Clarence Angling in the middle, and Frank Morris on the right. Down
Wow.
just below that is the things that they made. So that's how it looked. That was the dummy that they made.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
That was them in bed. That, and then it's got on. There's a little bit of more stuff. Like you got the homemade paddle that they made as well, and one of the life vests that was there in the pictures.
Yeah. Wow.
If you scroll on just a little bit more, you can see the size of the grate that are behind the sink that they had to kind of dig through.
No. Well, they had to
Yeah,
go through that.
yeah. They made it a little bit bigger, but yeah, it was that's it.
Wow.
And then you can see on the right, that's where their workshop area was. And what that doesn't show is about 30 feet to the right of that photo is like a gang walkway where prisoners would walk up and down with fully loaded rifles. So they had to pick their time, and they actually put because one of the jobs I can't remember if it was Angling or John, Clarence or John, one of the two had
Yeah.
to actually paint up there and clean it. And the prisoners were moaning about the dust that was coming down from it, so they put cloths over it. So they got permission from the guards to put cloths down, so the guards couldn't see what they were doing, um, to
Wow.
stop the dust. That's why in the background you can see the black tarps all around the back
Yeah.
of the things.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
that was the tarps.
That's mad.
And
Yeah.
if you look at the scroll down a bit more as well, you can see where the above cell block B showing how they actually got through the cell house, and that's the I mean they bent those rivets out.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
That's what it is on the top. One of the prisoners actually heard a bang when that probably hit the roof, but they just assumed it was the prison.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, the prison that claimed no one could escape still can't prove what happened to the only three men who did.
It is mad, isn't it? It's yeah.
Like the ingenuity of these three people, the desperation that would have gone into this, and it just proves that you back a human against a set of bars, and you're like, yeah, we'll show you what we can do.
Yeah. I was watching. It was like it was sort of like a half documentary kind of thing, and like also like a recreation of it was one of the German concentration camps, like an escape from that, and they were like working on an attic, and they'd like basically like um they basically made the back wall like closer. So they were hiding behind this like back wall, making this like plane, and they were going to fly it over
Yeah,
the. I don't know if they actually. I think they got caught in the end. I don't think they actually made it, but yeah, it was just yeah, yeah. I mean, when you've got like all this time on your hands, you're gonna get creative. Like,
100%. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's mad.
but yeah, I'm
So
not sure if we'll ever know, but
yeah, I'm impressed with the escape. But I'm also I'm impressed that they actually escaped. Um, because I mean they'd be in their 80s now, aren't they? Like you said, like
yeah, there is a
well,
very famous film called Escape from Alcatraz
yeah,
that anybody listening to this podcast, if you want to know a bit more about the detail, because I can't get all the details in, like it's impossible. But Danny, if you scroll to the very top picture,
mm,
all the way to the very top, and on the right hand side, you see the little cages above the walkway. That's where he was cleaning. That's where the right hand side one, that one.
yeah.
Uh, that's where the tarps were on the bars, because the
Oh,
dust was falling down to the cell block, and yeah, that's where they did it.
wow.
It's very close. I mean, it was very close to everyone else. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. If you do want to watch that film, I would highly recommend it. It's one of the films that I genuinely I'm not a big film person, but it's one of the films that I do enjoy. It's called Escape from Alcatraz,
yeah.
1979, and it is got Clint Eastwood in it. So it's a good film. Good
Yeah,
watch.
yeah. I've actually I've purchased the Blu-ray. I haven't watched it yet.
No, he hasn't not yet. He will though.
Oh,
But
probably this
yeah,
afternoon.
it was a very, very interesting escape. One that we'll never get the answer to, but one that
Yeah. I think it's a nice one as well because it's like I say, it's they are criminals obviously, but it's nice that they
they're not
actually.
violent criminals.
Yeah, but
I mean, not
it's.
in that, not in that sense.
I mean, it's nice. It's nice that I don't know. I always find an escape impressive, like regardless of who it was who did it. Like you get that level of intelligence and creativity and then to actually like go and succeed and do it. I don't know. I just always find that impressive.
Oh, 100%, mate. Yeah, 100%.
So like even without the whole mystery of them like being mysterious, it's still like a really interesting case. Yeah, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for
Joining us.
joining me on this on my weekly or no bi-weekly or however many. I don't know how many I've done at this point.
This is the 13th, so it's sort of been monthly.
Okay, so there's monthly sort of monthly murder investigation / crime
Mysteries.
mysteries. Yeah, it's been our first one was Flannan Isles, and our last one is another island, Alcatraz.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in.
Yeah. And if you watch this on YouTube, there's a playlist for all the mysteries as well. I've made a separate one.
Yeah, there is indeed
for that. And if you're not watching, and if you want to watch the video, it's on Spotify as well.
It is.
Yeah.
One thing left to say. Bye.
Bye.